Question?
Not too late, Kevin.
Would any member of the public like to speak on any matter? I'll remind you it's 3 minutes max.
He's taking his time.
Just needs to be reminded to keep it brief. The clock's already going.
I'd just like to speak on a personal point, and you don't have to take personal comments, Mr. Mayor. You can ask me to speak to the town clerk afterwards. But I would like to say that I think you've been an exceptional mayor. I think you've been very good. I think you've chaired the meetings very well. And I'd go on to say you've probably been the best mayor since
Thank you, Councillor Wright. That's very much. I will make no comment on my performance in relation to yours. Would any other member of the public like to speak before we move on beyond public participation? No? Thank you very much. Minutes. Approve the minutes of the full council meeting held on 18th of March. Opposed? Thank you. Seconder? Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak to anything on minutes? No. All in favour? Thank you very much. And to note the minutes of the Climate and Nature Emergency Advisory Group meeting from the 19th of March. There are some recommendations within. I think after consulting with other councillors and the town clerk, I would like to propose we defer this pending further information. Would anyone like to say anything? Thank you, Councillor Lambert. Right, all in favour of deferring and noting those minutes? Thank you very much. Next, reports of committees. First up is planning. Councillor Buckley.
The minutes of the planning committee, Mr. Mayor. 180, apologies for absence. 181, declarations of interest. 182, minutes. 183, public participation. 184, plans amended. 185, plans new. 186, 186, objections, call objections. 187, decision notices. 188, funding for ecological audits. 189, study of lawful development. 190, progress report and application called in. And 191, general progress report. So move.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Opposed? Second. All in favour? Thank you. Thank you again.
I'll continue with the planning committee meeting of the 1st of April. 192, apologies for absence. 193, declarations of interest. 194, minutes. 195, public participation. 196, plans amended. 197, plans new. 198, objections. 199, decision notices. 200, certificate of local development, change of use. 201, strategic plan. 202, appeal consultation. 203, progress report for applications called. I so move.
Thank you very much. Over. Seconder. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much, Councillor Buckley. Councillor Dulles, Recreation meeting, please.
Thank you very much. I wish to present the minutes of the Recreation and Communities Committee on Tuesday, the 1st of April. 66 apologies for absence, 67 declarations of interest, 68 public participation, 69 minutes, 70 progress, 71 finances, 72 integrated weed management report, 73 strategic plan review, 74 Jubilee Park management and maintenance plan for the 3G pitch, 75 Makings Recreation Ground for Town Green application, 76 Fairmont Cemetery Memorial Safety Policy. I say move.
Thank you very much. Proposer. Seconder. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much. Councillor Lambert, please.
I'd like to present the minutes of the Town and Community Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 8th of April. Item 71, apologies. Item 72, declarations of interest. 73, public participation. 74 minutes. 75, strategic plan. 76, Town Centre Manager update. 77, Communications Manager update. 78, CCTV. 79, finance. 80, River Thames Subcommittee Terms of Reference. 81, progress reports. I so move.
Thank you very much. Proposer, please. Seconder. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much. And finally, Councillor Riceman, on finance strategy and management, please.
I wish to present the minutes of the meeting of the Finance and Strategy Management Committee, meeting held on the 15th of April. Item 108, apologies, 109, declarations of interest, 110, public participation, 111, minutes, 112, Jubilee Park AstroTurf resurfacing, item 113, finance, 114, expenditure, 115, strategic plan review, 116, river subcommittee, and there is a resolved item there to establish the committee, and there is a recommendation that the councillors on that committee representing the town council should be councillors Hunt, Plant and Riceman. I'd like to add Councillor Hinton and Councillor Miller to fill up to complete the complements of 5 councillors of that committee. So with that amendment, I would like to approve this minutes with that amendment.
Thank you. So all in favour of approving minutes with the amendment?
I haven't finished the minutes yet.
My apologies.
Getting ahead of me. I think we have to approve that amendment to that recommendation, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah. So we do vote on that recommendation as
Okay, so-
amended by the 2 councillors.
Very happy to second the,
Press that, yeah.
thank you.
Put that one, that's okay.
And thank you. So all in favour of the amendment? Lovely.
Okay, right. I'll get back to the rest of the minutes. Item 118, 117, exclusion of the public and press. Item 118, legal updates. Item 119, 40 acre field. Item 120, Marshall Lock footbridge. As you can see, that's a resolved item about various actions that we took. And that item was held in confidential session because it involved a legal discussion of the steps that the council has been taking in order to pressurise the various bodies into making sure that the bridge is reopened as soon as possible. And that is later on the agenda in its own right for this. So with that note, I so move the whole note.
Thank you. Proposer for the minutes, please. Thank you. Councillor Blunt, seconder. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much. Everyone saying, now reports of other authorities. First, the district council. Do anyone wish to speak to that? No. Are there any questions? No, thank you. Next is the county council report. Would you like to speak, Councillor Gamshaw?
Well, standing joke, I'm going to speak briefly. And then go on at length. No, I'm not actually. First thing, I will actually say to the public as a county councillor, thank you to Rory, to the Mayor, for chairing these meetings, but also for the initiatives he's taken in a broader context on the Horse Bridge, or the footway, as we say, across, and also on the Thames Valley resolutions, which actually spread like wildfire throughout Oxford. So Oxfordshire, so really well done for that. The other thanks I am going to say is I'm going to thank Catherine in the audience. I couldn't actually do my job as town, district and county councillor without the support of Catherine. I work 3 full days a week on it, but other days, well, Catherine will say I work 7 days a week on it. But thank you for your support. The other thing I am going to say is commend you to read my report 3941. On page 40, I've listed the achievements. I will always say these are not my achievements. They are a team working on this. I couldn't do anything without Henley Town Council team, the HRG team, and also the District Council team as well. Towards the bottom of it, there's something called CPE, Civil Parking Enforcement. That was a huge amount of work to actually get the parking, finding people with parking basically on the streets of Henley out of the hands of the police, because they didn't do it. And the police should be doing other matters. And into Oxfordshire County Council. A team, Kelly, Ken, me, worked on the R3
parking in the SODC car parks. Ken worked as a team to actually get the ability of Henley Town councillors to speak on planning matters at the district. So these are all achievements as a team. But I am going to say a couple of personal things. I do work hard. Rory's going to say a bit more about the library later on. I've still got my badge for the opening of the library. I'm really proud. The library, as Michelle said in earlier, is fantastic. It really is. The design, the insulation in the roof, the eco credentials of that building are brilliant. But just wander in and look at the children's area with the trees hanging down from the wall. It's absolutely and utterly brilliant. And don't take my word for it. On page 43, there's a wonderful picture of Norman Thompson. Norman lives in Gainsborough. 3 days a week, and with a 5-day bus service, 3 days a week, he comes down on the bus to there, he walks from there to the library, he does his historic research, and then he goes, does a bit of shopping in Waitrose, then he goes home. The bus and the library have just opened up his world, now that he can travel 5 days on the bus and do his research. He's absolutely brilliant. And my final comment is this, and it's the comment at the top of page 43. You know, I've always had a slogan. I say it. Sorry, I'll find it in a moment. I've always had a slogan, which of course I remember and is memorable. You know, we say, I say it, I mean it, I do it. In other words, we're not a council of words, we are a council of action. But I've just morphed it a bit. I say it, I mean it, I enjoy it. And there are photographs in here. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy my job as councillor. And I thoroughly enjoy my job as a county councillor. That's why I'm going to fight for it as well. Because I just like getting things done for the residents of Henley, for the councillors of Henley as well. So thank you for your support over the last 4 years. We are all a team. Whatever political persuasion we are, doesn't matter. In this Henley Town Council, we are a team getting stuff done. Well done to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jeffrey. Next, we move on to, oh, sorry, Councillor Hinton.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak. It's not so much a question, but more a statement, and I probably won't be as brief. I have the pleasure of working on only 2 councils with Councillor Gabishak, who I actually called Mr. Gabishak for a good few years of us being councillors together because of because of both of our time at Gillett's. But now these days I do actually tend to call him Stefan. And I just wanted to say I can see from working on not just 1 but the 2 now how wonderful you are to work with as a councillor. So it's of no surprise to me how, despite being just 1 independent councillor, you've managed to achieve so much, particularly over the last 4 years as our county councillor. I think that some of your real strengths for us have been how innovative you are, such as your solar bins idea with Henley Society, which was a fantastic idea. So new, in fact, they were worried, would they even be able to empty them yet? Because it was really out of the box thinking. Again, similarly with the adventure golf, the way that, you know, you saw that and brought it to fruition, but it's also your dedication. It doesn't matter how long something takes, whether it's the skate park, as you know, we worked on together, that took 6 years, 6 years of the same meetings, trying to get permission and then funding, and then it'd be built, and then we, you know, eventually got to have it opening, or Townlands that you were heavily involved in with Ian. I think that you throw yourself into every project that you do, and it's not just wonderful to be around, it's actually really wonderful to be part of. I think you're a mentor for anyone that comes in. It's nothing to do with age or anything like that. I think that you just naturally, probably from 30 years spent teaching at Gillett's, being known as the legend locally, you have a really great way of helping people. You're a problem solver. You solve things and you make things better, and that's absolutely everything about you. But you're one of the most loving. I called you in a post recently a big softie in the best way, and you are. You're the kind of person that you can just go up and give a big bear hug, and absolutely everything's okay again. And I think just everything you do is a shining example of everything that we should be doing as councillors. And I'm really glad to know you. I'm really glad to work with you, and I really hope that I get to work with you again as our county councillor for the next 4 years. So thank you for everything you've done for the last 8. And I think we definitely need another 4 to get a few more things done, I'm sure. So thank you very much. You are absolutely wonderful, Stefan. And I, for one, and I'm sure I'm not the only one here, absolutely adore you.
Thank you. Any more for this item?
Ken, you can say a few words.
Right. Reports of outside bodies. Councillor Thomas, I know you used to speak on this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to update you all about the Henley Educational Trust, which has successfully funded another year for educational matters in Henley. A total of £150,703 has been given out, and that's broken down in the following way. £54,716 was given to the Henley Partnership of Schools. The Henley Educational Trust has entirely funded its counselling programme. The schools, this is primary and secondary schools in Henley, have received between them £35,650. And other organisations, educational, it could be sport related, etc. This includes the Henley College, have received £13,608. And 149 individuals have been assisted by way of perhaps school uniform, extracurricular activities to the tune of £46,729. So onwards and upwards for another year.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas. Thank the Education Trust for all the work they do.
Yeah, I'm really proud to be a trustee now.
I've thoroughly enjoyed my year sitting on the board there as well. You did excellent work. Councillor Kandar.
Thank you. Yes, so just to mention that Greener Henley is having a wonderful new charity strategy launch over at the River Museum on Wednesday, April 30th, so a week on Wednesday, and councillors and members of the public are all invited. Tickets are very limited, so I would say book your ticket today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Weissman.
I'd like to report back from the Henley Society. I've been the Town Council's representative there for a few years now, and I haven't reported back yet. And I'm slightly conscious that I should have checked what I was going to say with the chair who's sitting in the audience. So if I get anything wrong, Jeff, please. Jeff Luckin is the chair, and they have, I believe, over 500 members. They're one of the largest organisations that I think of in the town. In and around town, with that number. The Henley Society was founded about over 50 years ago, and its purpose is to protect the heritage of the town and look after other aspects of the town, looking to prevent unwanted developments and making sure that where areas of the town aren't as they should be, that they draw attention to those. And they also, for anyone who's ever sat on the planning committee, you'll be aware that before every planning committee meeting, the planning committee of the Henley Society provide detailed advice on each of the applications that are being considered. And anyone who does sit on plan is aware of the value and the importance of that advice, of listening to what it does. And that in itself is a significant contribution to the town of Henley. There's been an increased focus over the last 6-12 months, perhaps, of the cooperation between the Town Council and the Society, and regular meetings are taking place, and they are fruitful, as you would expect. And recently, the Great Henley Sack Race took place, which was largely inspired and energised by the Henley Society, and I would like to thank them for the work they did. Over 200 people turned out. There's lots of officer work, I know, as well, back in town council, but it's a perfect example of the two organisations working together to help keep the town special. And I'm very grateful for the work they do. It's surprising how much they do. And there's a social side to the organisation as well, which is also very enjoyable. So thank you to the Henley Society.
Thank you, Councillor Iceman, and also thank you to the Henley Society, particularly for your work on the SAP race and for the recent engagement with the council. I found those very useful meetings and I hope you have too. Thank you. Does any other council wish to speak to this item? Because I'll move on to my civic engagements over the past month or so. It's been a remarkably busy month. So rather than going through all of them, I'm just going to think about a few little ones. The library opening was a lovely thing to go and see. It is a wonderful new facility, and we're very lucky in a world where libraries are being shut down that we've actually got a lovely new refurbished library. It's been intelligently thought out and is a very good space for not just people who wish to go and read or borrow books, but also a good community space. They thought long and hard about it. And I'd also like to mark the visit from our twin town of Falaise and say how much I enjoyed welcoming them here. And thank you to the other councillors and officers and the Twinning Association who gave them such a warm welcome. I know it was well received. I also, as this is my last time reporting this, would like to take this opportunity to thank the officers who have supported myself and the council so well over the last year. My fellow councillors, without whom I couldn't have done any of the things that I wish to do to help the town. So thank you all for your hard work and dedication over the last year. Most people assume that councillors get paid for their work. We don't. None of us take any money for this. We all do it as volunteers. So on behalf of the town, thank all of you for all the work you've put in over the year. And I'd also like to thank two other groups, local community groups that we've just heard a little bit about, but there are many more than the ones we've heard that again have done so much for this town. And lastly, I'd like to thank my family who have been supporting me throughout my year as mayor. As Councillor Gavashak mentioned, you do need support in order to do these sort of roles. So I would like to thank my mother and father who have supported me so well in the year, as well as my little dog who's kept me a very good mayor's companion throughout the year as well. So now, on to who is going to be doing next year, who is into the breach. Start with Mayor-elect. Do I have any nominations? Councillor Dodds.
Thank you very much. I would like to propose Councillor Tom Buckley as Mayor-elect for the ensuing year.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Lambert. Thank you. Would you like to speak to the nomination?
I will just say a very few words because we save our words for mayor making, but I'd simply like to say, Tom, you're a relative newcomer to Henley-on-Thames, but I know you've taken the town into your heart, and that's good enough for us, and I know you're going to have a super year as mayor. You're very much a people person, and you're going to engage the town and give back hugely. So I'm very happy to propose it.
No, I just echo Councillor Dodd's comments. I think Tom joined this council a few years ago and he's thrown himself into it. He's been an excellent chair of plans. I can't wait to see what he does with the opportunity of being mayor.
Right. Would you like to respond at all?
I would like to thank everybody in this council, firstly for nominating and secondly, but also I did come into this council very sort of strangely. I think I was one of the first ones to be co-opted on the council for quite a while, and I couldn't have done it without any of you here. So I do appreciate the support and the how do you put it? You said that I've welcomed the town's welcomed me, so I just like to say thank you.
All in favour? Congratulations, Councillor Buckley. Deputy Mayor. Deputy Mayor, do I have any nominations?
Could I
Councillor Buckley.
nominate Councillor Riceman, please? Do you want to speak to us?
I have a second first. Second.
Second.
Councillor Gandar, thank you.
I'd just like to say that Councillor Reisman has been on this council for a number of years, the longest serving people here. And the list of your achievements is long and vast. I think the combination of brains and beauty, I think will do very, very well.
I look forward to the response to that.
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to second propose and to support that Councillor Reisman as Deputy Mayor-elect. And just a personal note to say, it was Councillor Reisman who introduced me to the wonderful world of local politics a few years ago. So thank you, and I continue to learn from you, and I look forward to seeing all that you have to offer and change as part of being Deputy Mayor.
Councillor Reisman, would you like to respond?
I'm still working out brains or beauty. However, thank you very much for the proposal and the second. And yes, I apologise, Councillor Candy. It was all my fault. I've just saying today. No, it was great to be able to do that and to see a new face around and say two relatively new faces who proposed and seconded me, which is great. I think it shows that this council is continuing to evolve, take on new people and get new ideas and fresh energy into the council. I've been here for far too long now, but I'm happy to continue doing it because I enjoy doing it. It's very rewarding to give something back to the town. And it's 21 years since I was that last person as deputy mayor, so perhaps another 21.
Well, okay, yeah. All in favour? Congratulations, Councillor Reisman. Right, so we now move on to the really exciting policies. Councillor Reisman, I believe you have
This is always my favourite moments when I have a look at standing orders and go through them. And yeah, I'm delighted to say that the mayor and the town clerk did go through them. We did find a few which were inconsistent and needed tidying up, which I'm going to now propose. That's true of both standing orders and the scheme of delegation. And I'm going to ask the town clerk who's got them in front of him to read out the proposed changes. But I'm going to propose those as to be read out by the town clerk who's documented the discussion we had.
So the first item on page 51, so item 1A on standing orders, all meetings of full council should be held in the town hall commencing at 7:30 unless the council otherwise decides on the previous meeting. We first of all, it's in bold, it shouldn't be in bold, only statutory items should be in bold. And secondly, it was felt that that was unnecessarily restricted on the council. And we don't always hold it on in the town hall, for example. So it's proposed that 1A is removed. The second item is 2C, which is on page 54, which says the annual meeting of the council should take place at 11:30. It does take place at 11:30, and I think it has for many years, but again, it's felt that this was unnecessarily restricted on the council. It's a matter of tradition and not necessarily something that should be in standing orders. So it's recommended that 2C is removed. 2K, which is the order of business for the annual meeting of the council. It was also felt that this is slightly restricted on the council. The order of business is as we do by tradition, but it doesn't necessarily need to be enshrined within standing orders at all. So those are the three removals. On 1Z, which is on page 53, it's, just need to double check. Yes, it says if a meeting is or becomes incorrect, no business shall be transacted and the meeting shall be adjourned. It's recommended that the wording "and the meeting shall be adjourned" is removed. The reason being is that not often, we don't really have in-court meetings very often, but on the occasions where it does, it is often helpful for the meeting still to take place informally for discussions, even if there aren't formal resolutions. Hence the wording, and the meeting shall be adjourned, is recommended that is removed from that. And the final recommendation is that on 2E, which is on page 54. It says the election of mayor and deputy mayor of council shall be the first business completed at the annual meeting of the council. By tradition, the election of the deputy mayor does not follow on straight after the election of the mayor, and so it's recommended that that is removed as well. So those are the recommendations for standing orders. Anybody who has?
Thank you, Town Clerk. I'm happy to second those from the chair. Does anyone wish to speak to this? In which case, all in favour? Thank you very much.
So I'd also like to propose on the right page that the financial regulations are approved as on the agenda.
I'm happy to second. Does anyone wish to speak? All in favour? Thank you.
And finally, the scheme delegation, again, the town clerk has documented the discussions we had earlier, and with some again, minor amendments to tidy up some of the text. So I'll let the town clerk describe them as he does that so much better than I do.
Briefly, on item 1.1, which is page 99 of the agenda, under H, it says appointing or co-opting to a committee or subcommittee of a person not a member of the council or the committee. So that is an item which currently is reserved for full council. However, in practice, councils have appointed non-council members to subcommittees and working groups and so on and so forth. So just to bring that in line with what our current practice is, we recommend that 1.1H is removed. The only other item is to clarify, it is implied in the scheme delegation, but we felt it could be clarified under section 6 to insert an additional item to state that committees shall have the power to delegate as they see fit to a subcommittee or officer such powers as have been delegated to them. So if full council have given them the powers, they also have the power to delegate further to a subcommittee or an officer.
So again, I'd like to propose that with those amendments, the scheme delegation as on the agenda is approved.
Just a quick question, actually, on that point 1.1H, appointing or co-opting to a committee or subcommittee of a person not a member of the council or committee. Can full council override that?
Yes. They can, if the committee has made the decision under delegated powers, then no, full council can't. But full council can take that decision. Anything that's been delegated to full council can still do so. So full council could still appoint somebody to a committee. It doesn't have to be the committee. But if the decision has already been taken, full council can't override that decision without going, say, through full due process, for example. If that makes sense. Which would be going under standing orders to rescind a resolution or for a resolution to be brought back for reconsideration.
Need to vote on the motion.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Thanks.
Does anyone else wish to speak to this item? No? Yes, I'm happy to second from the chair. All in favour? Thank you very much. So we are now moving on to the Marsh Lock footbridge. Councillor Rice, can I do you?
Yeah, when I read out the the FSNM minutes, finance strategy management minutes, and I allude to the fact that there's an item later on this agenda regarding the Marshall footbridge. And I think the fairly extensive resolution of the Finance Committee covers that. But it was felt in discussion with the Town Clerk and the Mayor that we would like to give the opportunity for this to take place in open session. And to make clear that we're still pursuing, through the various legal means that we have available to us, to secure the repair and reopening of the footbridge. And that's primarily using Section 56 of the 1980s Highways Act. And that's the mechanism that we've been using, which gives this council and individuals as well certain powers to ask questions of the relevant bodies, such as the Environment Agency. We have received some replies, and we'll be making some more questions based on those replies over the next few weeks. But we've also been working, and the Mayor's been working closely with Freddie O'Malley, the MP, and we're grateful for his support on this issue. And as a result of, at least partly, of the actions and the publicity of the campaign that's been taking place, not just in this council, but across the community, who were all rightly alarmed about the state of the river. £500,000 has now been identified to help start planning the repair of the bridge and designing how that will work. It'll need a considerable amount of more money than that, which is still to be identified. But that was an important step forward. Money is now being found, which will allow the redesign and rebuilding of the bridge to start happening. And so this council, I hope, will continue to support all the other organisations which are very rightly, in my view, concerned at the state of the river and the way that Thames Water in particular have been failing in their duty to protect it both as a recreational facility but also as an important part of our environment.
Thank you, Councillor Roseman. Would anyone else like to speak to this? No, well, I'd just like to again thank the officers, Councillor Roseman and the MP for the support and work we've done. This has been a major part of what I wanted to achieve this year. And while it might be frustrating that the bridge is not yet open, we are seeing considerable progress. And I'd also actually like to thank those at the Environment Agency who have started to engage with us. And hopefully we will see some tangible progress soon, and I'm sure this council will continue to use whatever means we have at our disposal to open the bridge as soon as possible. Lastly, River Thames water quality. So this again is just to update the town on the town council funded water quality testing. There is now an app available on iPhones where you can get the most up-to-date water quality results, and hopefully local clubs, swimmers, paddleboarders, canoeists, any recreational or business user of the river can now have an up-to-date water quality test and they're able to judge whether or not it is safe to use. This data will also very soon be made available to all for free on the Town Council's website. And thank you again to all those involved, particularly those who have been involved in developing this app, who have done so free for the benefit of the town. Would anyone like to speak on this matter? No? In which case, thank you all very much. Please do come through to the parlour for a final cheese and wine thing with me. Thank you all very much.